Happy holidays, everyone.
Yeah, it's hopefully you're getting ready for the Christmas season. It's mid-December right now, and it's like 11 degrees and sunny here. It's very, very mild.
Yeah. So we're just getting ready for the holidays, but we thought we'd do a quick video and do a little bit of like a fireside chat, I guess, because
without the fire.
Yeah, without the fire, because we did have some conversations, fun conversations about RVing and van life with our friends in our last video when we went to Porto, and we thought we'd talk about a couple of those things in this video. And also we've got a really nice Christmas video montage to show you of all the nice sights in the Metro Vancouver area. So we hope you enjoyed this video.
If you watched our last video, you know we talked about vans and upgrades to vans and different camp spots that we've been to, and it was a lot of fun. And sorry, just gotta check my notes for a second. Yeah, so we talked a lot about different camping things, and one of the things the conversation came around to, which was kind of funny. Part of it was mice, because sadly we had a bit of a mice infestation again this fall. We showed up at the van one day, and I'd just been here 2 days before, and I looked on the floor, and there was what looked like shredded paper towel, which seemed unusual. Usually keep the van a little cleaner. Anyway, I'd left a piece of paper towel out for something, and some mice had taken it and used it along with some other fibers they found to build what looked like a bird's nest. I didn't film it. Anyway, we ended up putting out we have the no harm mouse traps, and we ended up catching 4 mice, which we released several kilometers away. No problem since, but it was still annoying. Did prompt me to go through and look for other potential entry points. We thought we'd solved it from before, but I found a place where one of our water lines came in, and it had a reasonably big space, so blocked that up with some wire. So we're hoping that will be the last of our mice issues, at least for this fall.
Yeah, and actually during our chat with our friends, the mouse issue came up, and we spent quite a bit of time talking about mice. And I think this past summer was a really bad year everywhere.
Lots of stories of people getting mice in their RVs, and actually our friends that were with us, Pete and Alex, they've actually installed I think it's called a rodent repeller or a mice repeller.
Yeah, pest repeller.
It runs right off their battery in their van and off the chassis battery. And it emits a high-pitched sound, which, much to my surprise, I could hear, and then has a little bit of blinking light. So it's intended to keep the mice, particularly outside of your engine compartment. So
yeah, and apparently that's a place where mice get in quite easily. Yeah.
The other thing that we talked about was cassette toilets. And, we've had our van for, close to 6 years?
Mm-hmm. Almost 6 years in January.
6 years in January.
I think, yeah.
and we were joking because during that entire time, we've never seen anyone taking their cassette toilet to be emptied in a washroom in any of the parks. So we were wondering, are people, do they wear like great big overcoats when they go and you can't notice them? Or are they going in the middle of the night so the people aren't seeing you carrying these little, because they sort of look like, carry-on bags. So you'd sort of note if somebody was going by in a campground. Anyway, it was just something that we'd commented and noted.
Yeah, and I think it's also some of the units that we were looking at.
At cassette toilets.
Potential next RV has cassette toilets, and I think that's why we started asking questions.
Yeah, and Pete and Alex actually have one, and Pete does happily take his to dump in a pit toilet when they need to. So obviously people do it, but we just had never seen it, so we thought it was kind of interesting.
Yeah, so if you have a cassette toilet, let us know how you dump it.
And the other conversation that came up is apparently, and we don't have a lot of information on this, but either Steve or Darlene had mentioned that in the United States now, some of the parks are not letting you use cassette toilets. You actually have to have a black tank if you're going to be camping in some of the, I think it's potentially some of the state parks and maybe even BLM lands.
And some private campgrounds, I guess, too.
Yeah, where they just want to make sure that you're not using your cassette toilet and dumping it into their their regular, I guess, toilet. So that seemed unusual. We don't know that to be actually the case, but we did go online and we saw a lot of chatter about it. So
I think it's more to do with the possible spillage when you're actually trying to dump it, I think, and the mess it might leave behind. If you're responsible, then you'll clean it up, but
and I
not
saw,
everyone is, I guess.
I saw some examples of where parks are requiring you to have sort of the equivalent of either a certain number of gallons, which would be, something you'd need to have with a black tank, or the ability to, service your all the waste products for, I think, a 3-day window. So just a number of things. So it's just something to pay attention to, particularly if you have a cassette toilet or considering getting an RV with a cassette toilet.
Yeah, there's more and more nowadays, so it's something to consider.
Yeah, and certainly some of the RVs that we've looked at recently have a cassette toilet as an option. So that's something that we would have to give more consideration to and check out and see if that's, if those changes are actually happening, like what we're hearing online.
And obviously, if you enjoy winter RVing, it can be an advantage because everything's located inside, and you don't have to worry about your tank freezing.
Yeah, that would be certainly one advantage in the winter time, and that's one of the reasons we thought about it as well. Is that you may be winterized everywhere else, but your cassette toilet you could still use without any complications. Very difficult to dump your black tank in the winter, in part because it's probably got a gallon or so of antifreeze you're not going to want to lose. And then secondly, a lot of the dump stations, at least at the parks around here, are closed in the winter if it's freezing.
Yeah.
Now, some private places they're open all winter long. Obviously, they would have an ability for you to probably just connect right up to the sewer system if you wanted to.
Yeah.
If you had a regular black tank. And of course, you could dump a cassette toilet through that same sort of connection as well, I think. Yeah, so just some of the fun conversations that come up when you're sitting around a fire watching amazing sunsets.
It's for sure. It was a lot of fun.
Toilets and mice, yeah.
And about different campgrounds and travel, and it was fun.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So far, we've done sort of, I guess, 3 kind of holiday events. One, we went to one of our favorite places, which is the Burnaby Heritage Village, which always has, the old buildings. If you watched our videos, you've seen us there before at Christmas time and recently Halloween. So we were back there again this year at Christmas. Next, we went someplace new that we'd never been to, out maybe about an hour drive from us. And there was actually snow on the ground, much to our surprise.
It was pouring rain at the time.
Yeah, there was snow on the ground, and it was raining really heavily. And that was a studio lot that they do some filming at, a lot of the Hallmark movies, called Martini Village. And I think we would have enjoyed it a lot more. Martini Town.
Yeah, and it's in Langley.
And we would have enjoyed it more if it wasn't pouring rain, like really raining while we were there. And then just the other night, we went to another favorite we haven't been to in a long time, Van Dusen Gardens and their Festival Lights. Yeah, and that was absolutely wonderful.
Okay, so I think without further ado, we will get into our holiday greeting video montage. So we hope you enjoyed the video montage of the holiday sites in Metro Vancouver. And if you did, please be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already. And wishing all of you a happy and safe holiday season, and Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And hope to maybe in a couple weeks or so, we'd like to do our top 5 campgrounds for 2023 video. So please stay tuned for that, and we will see you next time.
I have to take these off for this. We'll see you next time.